Ryan, good to see you again, man. Welcome. Like, it's good to see you. Welcome back to the show, I would say. Like, it's been a while since TIFF.
Yeah, we did the live interview 11 months ago, and then now we're doing Zoom interview.
Nimrod's going to
Thank
be
you
in
for having me.
theaters. Isn't this crazy that I just said that? Like, your film Nimrod's going to be in
Yeah.
theaters?
Tomorrow, yeah, when we're filming this, it'll be in theaters starting tomorrow. We've already done some like preview screenings
Mhm.
on August 11th, 2026. And already, like I just posted on my Instagram, we have 84% good tomatoes.
It's
That's
crazy, man.
pretty exciting.
Well, I was telling you, I'm so excited about this film, and it's so cool that we're talking about it now because we're going way back to its, TIFF premiere where it had a different name and
Yeah.
like it was a big deal and like the bunny was there on the carpet. You know what I mean? I just kind of want
hmm
to go back even before that because it's funny because I never saw it. Like when we chatted, I just asked you about learning to play drums. Like it was a very kind of quick hi bye. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now I come on. I want to know about the audition process for this and like what the breakdown was. Like,
Yeah.
was it, Chad, the drummer, he's a bit nerdy. Did you know all that stuff? Like, I'm just wondering about that, so to speak.
It's funny because in the Instagram things, it's like Chad is the lovable drummer with a peanut allergy, and I was like, I didn't know. I didn't say that in the breakdown. I could look up the breakdown on my email, but all I remember is reading the script for the first time in that right before my first self tape, and when I taped at home, I remember reading that script and being like, wow, this is authentically one of the best scripts that I've come across in
Mm.
probably a few years. I was like, it was so funny. I have to be a part of this. And I love the three main characters going together on this little road trip. And once I got the opportunity to audition, they asked like, do you play any instruments? And I said, I play guitar, I play piano, and I sing, but I don't play the drums. My dad played the drums as like a hobbyist drummer for a little while. And then I did I can't remember if I did a director's callback or I went straight to a chemistry read with Mason. And it was all on Zoom, the chemistry read. I met him. I met Lee Kirk, our writer director, for the first time. And it's funny because in that Zoom audition, right before we did our first scene, and the scene takes place inside of like a little garage, and I'm coming into the garage with my backpack and sticks, my drumsticks. Uh, right before we were gonna like tape the scene on Zoom, I said, "Hold on one second, I'm gonna grab my backpack because I had my props and I had my drumsticks." So during the scene, I like took the drumsticks out of the bag, and later Mason told me he's like, "I knew you got the role the second you said, 'Hold on, let me grab my backpack.'" He's like,
Oh my
"You're
God.
you were already dedicated to this."
That's
And
so
then
good.
once I got the role, I had a week before I had to go to pre-production in Oklahoma City. And so for that week, I bought a practice pad and some sticks, and I looked up like drum rudimentary practices on YouTube. And I just learned how to do like a paradiddle, like taps on the pad. And then I live close enough to the Hollywood Guitar Center that I
Mhm.
would bike there and I would lock my bike and I would go into the practice area because they have electric kits and then they have a real kit. I would just stay in there for like 6 hours a day until they kick me out. And they're like, yeah, you can't be in here if you're not going to buy anything.
Oh
So
my
I did
God.
that for a week. And then once I flew to Oklahoma for the pre production, the prop assistant master was setting up the drum kit and the bass and the guitar so we as a band could practice the songs because we were playing for real. And I met him for the first time. He said, "You're the drummer." I said, "Yeah." And he said, I am a drum I'm a drummer myself and a certified drum teacher. I'd be happy to help in any way. I was like, dude, yes, please. Because Jacob Armstrong, Billy Joe's son, wrote the original songs that we play as analog dogs. And so we had to learn it all from ear, and he taught me how to play it. He taught me how to do the stick twirl, which is featured in the movie at one
Mhm.
point.
Yeah.
And so I was able to actually play for real. Uh,
What
and
I
I'm
love
so
about
thrilled about
Chad,
that.
and you did such a great job with this character, is he comes in, like you said, he's nerdy and everything, and like he wants to be by the
Yeah.
book, right? He doesn't want to get in trouble and stuff like that. I don't want to go into big detail spoilers, but then when he gets on those drums, boom, it's like a switch, right? Like he's like almost like a different person. Did it feel like,
Yeah.
was that something you liked about that character and an arc as well? That kind of like, he is kind of a little nerdy. There might not be a lot of self-esteem, but when he gets on those drums, he is like a rock star. Like it's cool, right?
Yeah. Uh just the character arc too. I remember there was one point when Lee, our writer director, came up to me and he said, "Hey, I want to do a scene tomorrow. It's not written, but how would you feel about dyeing your hair blue for the day and playing drums for like the end of the scene?" Because you're right, it starts as a nerdy character with not a lot of self-esteem. He gets to drum with these punk kids because he wants to fit in, he wants to have friends. And so by the end, the character arc of I won't try to do any spoilers, but the fact that he gets to dye his hair and get to wear sunglasses for that final drumming scene really brings in a full character arc for Chad, which is I was very fortunate to do. But I remember for the beginning song we did,
Mm.
uh, I had my Christmas sweater on. I was still in that nerd phase, and I'm drumming, but I'm not fully rock star yet. It's not until there's a scene where we're in a dive bar and it's these just gigantic, big bearded dudes looking like they're just gonna jump us. And we're playing Dominated Love Slave as our country song by Green Day.
Yeah.
And I remember being in that environment, being like, yeah, this is where Chad finds his confidence
Yeah.
because they're cheering for us, they're singing the lyrics by the end of the song, and I'm like, ah, yeah, this is where Chad would feel the shift of like, wait, we can be rock stars.
Absolutely. I kind of want to ask you because this might be. I feel like you can ask anyone this. You can ask Kylr this, yourself, Mason. Even Keen and Ignacio. They might have different answers for you specifically, right? This journey of being in this movie Nimrods, which is a Green Day inspired movie. Produced by Green Day with Green Day needle drops all the time, which was the best. When did it really start to sink in and hit you that you were in a Green Day movie? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was there a specific moment? Was
Yeah,
it like even when booking it? Like, I'm just wondering because it was the big deal when the article came out, right? Like, it was all you cast for the movie, like the
yeah.
Green Day movie. When did it really sink in for you that you were in a Green Day movie, Ryan?
I don't think it still has, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like, I wasn't a fan of Green Day growing up. I knew 80s, 70s, and 90s music. My dad raised me well to appreciate that era of music. And I knew Green Day's songs, and I'm a Broadway kid, so I knew
yeah,
American Idiot, the musical. But when I got the role and I started listening to the Apple Music Essentials playlist for Green Day, I was like, oh, I recognize that. Oh, I know that song. I like the first 20, I'm like, oh, I know all of these. I
yeah,
didn't know this was Green Day, which is when I think back, it's so weird because Billy Joe has such a iconic voice,
yeah.
such a recognizable voice.
Mhm.
Um, not I got to be the bunny on stage with Green Day when they were playing at the Palladium, and I don't think it's really sunk in then either. I think it's
Yeah,
just like we did a movie about three kids in a punk band who want to open for Green Day. Green Day, yeah, they wrote, produced, and they were in it, but it never felt like,
yeah,
oh, this is Green Day. It just
yeah.
felt like we're creating something with Green Day. I don't know how to
Um,
explain it.
Absolutely. You do mention, Billy Joel's son, wrote the Analog Dog songs. Are there any other kind
Yeah.
of fun facts or cool kind of things that we might not know about Nimrods, like the whole process that you could share? Any fun on set? You mentioned you were the bunny on stage. Like any fun
Yeah.
facts or anything you could share about Nimrods?
Bobby Lee was. Oh yeah, I have a few stories. So I'll tell you about Bobby Lee, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the bunny.
Yeah.
So I didn't know because in the script it said Chad gets in the bunny costume. Excuse me. In the script it says Chad gets into the bunny costume, and I thought, okay, they're gonna have some stunt person or some dancer go in and do the Chad Bunny. And I remember Lee Kirk, our writer director, came up to me and he said, "Hey, you have a fitting for the bunny suit tomorrow." And I said, "What? I get to be the bunny?" He said, "Yeah, dude, of course." I was so excited. And from that point, I'm like, okay, I got to figure out exactly what the bunny does at the beginning of Green Day concerts and exactly what dance moves I want to do. And so it fit perfectly. This was a separate one they had. They have one that they use all the time and it smells gross. And Mike Dirnt, the bassist, even said, "I don't go near that thing."
Do you know if the
But
one
I was
that
able to do the
what
bunny.
about the one at the premiere, like the bunny? Was that was that another suit? Like have enough, or was that one of the suits of the movie?
I've been told there's only two, but
Okay.
there's got to be more, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Who
Because the buddy
knows?
was, we talked
Who
before at the
knows?
start of the interview, like the buddy was at TIFF, like with us, which was the best.
Yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And then another story is Bobby Lee and I's trailers were pretty close to each other. And
Mhm,
so when we're like not filming, we just hang out.
mhm.
And at one point he said he asked like what my background was, what I've done, or like what training I've had. And I did some comedy training for improv at the Groundlings,
Mhm.
which is where like Will Ferrell
Yep.
and Lisa Kudrow studied. And he said, "Have you ever done stand up before?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you want to try it?" I said, "I'd love to at some point." He said, "Do you want to open for me in LA?" I was like, "Yes." You don't say no to that opportunity, right? And he said, "Oh, great." We were 2 weeks away from ending filming, and he said, "You have 2 weeks to write opening material, and you're going to come open for me at the Comedy Store with Whitney Cummings." I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I got that together, and I got to open for Bobby Lee a few times at the Comedy Store after
That's
filming.
that's the
Crazy.
best.
Absolutely nuts.
And then last question. This is the question I'm so excited to ask you, by the way, because again, I couldn't talk to you about this at the because I didn't see it, right? Last time we chatted, right?
Yeah.
There is a scene where you guys go to this like little like party where there's an outdoor concert happening, right? And it rains and everything. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Kylr's character, takes shrooms and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But the Paradox play in the movie, which is like one of my
Yeah.
favorite bands right now. Did you get to meet them a lot? Like, did you get to kind of watch them
Yeah.
play a lot? Like, what was that like meeting the Paradox?
So I was told that there was a band like the Linda Lindas that Green Day had selected to do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about them. I hadn't listened to them before, but I remember because our characters come into the hole and we hear the Paradox playing when the
Yes.
hole is introduced as a location. And that's kind of how it was for me too, because I walked in and I heard them playing. I was like, wow, who are these guys? And we got to spend a week filming in the hole, and they were awesome, and they really dedicated a lot of time to just enjoying the filming process as well. They do a lot of social media, but they haven't done movies. They're not actors, they're musicians. And so they were asking us all about the acting process, about the filming process. As a drummer, I was talking to the drummer of like, what do I need to know about what I can add to Chad as the drummer, as the character? Is there something I need to do, something I need to learn, like a prop I need to hold? I was told constantly that there's a snare drum tuner that drummers usually carry around with them. And so I was able to get that as a prop and put that on my person as Chad. And just learning from real drummers and real musicians like that. And they're so talented.
So crazy. And I can't wait for people to see Nimrods in theaters. By the time this is out, this is gonna go out tomorrow, Friday. So the movie's out. By the time this interview is out, the movie's out. They'll go check it out. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you, the cast and crew. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining me on Pop Tournament. This was great.
Thank you for having me, Petey.
Absolutely. Your Instagram account is just your name if people want to keep update with everything, right?
Yes, Ryan Faust, Foust official.
Amazing. Well, this has been Pop Turn at youtube.com/Pop Turn for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Ryan Faust, MPD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.